watching a game with Ukraine and another country. I'm not sure which one. Wow. Serious about their coffee here. They can do a blend of up to 15% Sangiovese. So there you go. There's the wine nerd talk about this. Let's try it. And glad we wandered by this place earlier today. And in a couple of weeks, this will be jammed with Italians coming on vacation. But now, there's literally nobody here. Welcome to Destination Eat Drink, the travel channel for foodies. I'm Brent Peterson. I'm an American living in Portugal, and we're continuing our foodie road trip in Italy. And spent a good portion of the day today driving on this road trip. And we are now in the city of Pescara, which is a beachside community, a modern city here in the Abruzzo region. If you like this kind of food and drink stuff, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I've also got a playlist of all of our other places that we've been so far in Italy. I think there's 5 other that we've been to, and probably got another 5 places to go before we finish this thing up in a few weeks. So after that long day of driving, a lot of it in the rain, we found this great wine bar. So we came in here and got a couple of glasses of the classic Abruzzo wine, Montepulciano d'Abruzzo. And if you've heard that term Montepulciano before, it's probably in reference to the Tuscan wine made of Sangiovese grapes. This is different. Montepulciano d'Abruzzo is made with Montepulciano grapes that are grown here in Abruzzo. And to be called Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, it has to be at least 85% Montepulciano grapes. They can do a blend of up to 15% Sangiovese. So there you go. There's the wine nerd talk about this. Let's try it. I talked to the guy behind the bar, seemed very knowledgeable. He said this is a classic representation of the wine. So of course, it's a dry wine, nice tannins, not too incredibly tannic. Maybe some oak on there as well, I think, maybe. Anyway, tasty, like it. I think that one was $5.50 for a glass. This one is the same grape, Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, but it's aged in clay casks, the amphora. We've tried this before in a lot of eastern Portugal. They do a lot of that, aging in the clay pots. So, in fact, we did a video in Cuba, Portugal, where we tasted some of that wine. It's very good. It tends to be very strong because the clay really lends a minerality to the wine. So, let's give this a try. Yeah. So I can really taste down the front of my tongue, really dry. That minerality tends to dry out, for lack of a better term, tends to dry out the front of your tongue. I like this though. The amphora wines tend to be just too minerally to me in general in Portugal, which is why I like sampling them, but I don't drink a lot of them. This is actually good. You could actually sit down and drink this. So we're going to have some fun in Pescara. Probably going to do some road trips to some surrounding places as well, but we're off to a good start here, having some wine. With, I'm sure, more to come. There's a beach volleyball tournament going on this weekend in Pescara. There's teams from all over the world, like 15, 16 different countries, watching a game with Ukraine and another country. I'm not sure which one, but it's very entertaining. The quality of the play is very good. So I spend a lot of time prepping for these trips, researching where we're going to go, what we're going to eat, what kind of food we should be looking for. But always leave time in there for spontaneous things. And this is one of those examples. I didn't know about this place called Grano, but we passed by here earlier today and I looked in the window and the fresh made pasta in the window looked just super. So we decided, it's a 2-minute walk from our apartment, we decided to come here for dinner tonight. So what they have is they got 9 different kinds of pasta, from long and skinny to shell shapes to fusilli shapes. One's called calamari, I think, because it looks kind of like a sliced calamari. Really looked good. So what did I get? Well, I got my noodles were spaghetti alla chitarra. Chitarra means guitar in Italian. And that's because the way that the pasta is cut, it's cut on an instrument that looks like guitar strings. So you take the pasta sheets and you press them through these strings that look like a guitar, and it creates your spaghetti alla chitarra. After you select your noodles, then you select the topping. I mean, you had carbonara, cacio e pepe, and I got mushroom. So spaghetti alla chitarra and mushrooms. And this pasta is so fresh and tasty, and it comes out quick, because fresh pasta, you only got to cook for a couple of minutes, and boom, it was ready to go. This giant bowl of pasta was €8. I got some water to go with it. So my meal was less than €10 and totally worth it, and glad we wandered by this place earlier today. I love finding street art when we travel to a new city. Karen spotted this and said, you got to come and see it. Come over and look at it. And I was duly impressed. This takes up a whole city block, and it must be like 10, 12 different full-size murals. It's really impressive and quite beautiful. Okay, another day in Pescara. We're at a Fiorelli Coffee Lab. This place is so serious about their coffee. The guy behind the counter spent quite a while explaining to us exactly what we're getting. I told him what kind of coffee I prefer, and he's got tons of single origin coffees that are roasted here. He grinds the coffee fresh, and look at this presentation, amazing. So we got our coffee in a ceramic mug, not plastic. We got a little jar with the ground coffee beans. He said, smell that first. Well, here's what he said. Have the water first to cleanse your palate. You got to prepare your palate. Sparkling water. Then he said, smell the ground beans to prepare the aromas. Delicious. And then try the coffee. So this is and then he brought out a bag of the coffee so that we could understand what we're getting. And it not only tells you where it's from, Colombia, but also the tasting notes on here. And this one had chocolate, vanilla, and almond. Ooh. Yeah, definitely. So smooth, delicious. I mean, wow. Serious about their coffee here. And then, to top it off, we got a couple of local pastries. So this one is called Boccanotto. This is a famous local pastry from a nearby village. Traditionally served at Christmas time, but now you can get it all year round. Filled with pistachio cream, shortbread. Wow. Karen is going to love that. And then this one, also local. It's called Little Birds. And look, on the inside, filled with jam made from the local Montepulciano grape. The lady inside said perfect with a glass of red wine. I can see it, but pretty great with the coffee too. Behind me are a few of the Trabucco, which are famous here in Abruzzo. In fact, they're so well known that some people call this the Trabucco coast. And what these are is old fishing platforms. And you can see these arms that are sticking out. They're called antennae. And then these ropes were maneuvered through a set of winches and pulleys to drop nets into the water and scoop up schools of fish. There'd be like 3 or 4 guys working on these platforms, and one guy would be spotting the fish and the others would be maneuvering the arms on the net to try and go down and scoop these guys up. And there's dozens of these. There's probably a dozen of these right here in Pescara, which is nice, but up and down the coast there's tons of them, and a lot of them are even bigger than this and more elaborate, but they're not really in use anymore. A lot of them have been converted into seafood restaurants, but it's nice that it's right here in Pescara. And I think what probably happened is when they built these seawalls here, it prevents the tide from coming in too high and made these things obsolete. There are bars and restaurants all along this beach here in Pescara. This beach goes for miles, literally, it's huge. And in a couple of weeks, this will be jammed with Italians coming on vacation. But now, there's literally nobody here. Like, all of these places will be filled with beach chairs. Nothing here right now. We've got it completely to ourselves. We stopped in this little bar. They've got some craft beer in the fridge, so we thought we'd give it a try. This is a local beer called Raffo, and it's made in Puglia. So let's give this a try. Very light, like a lager, but tasty. That's good. And then Karen, she liked the label here, the monkey with the banana. It's called Franco. And this is supposed to be a Pilsner. Small can. What is that, maybe 9-10 ounces? All right, so even though that's a Pilsner, that's much hoppier than the lager. I mean, as I would expect, but hoppier than most Pilsners, but still tasty. And here comes a plane with the first batch of tourists. Yeah, it won't be long before the tourists come here and invade Pescara, but for now, we'll just sit here and enjoy the beach and watch the water. So we've been snacking all day today. We snacked in the car while we were driving here. We snacked in the hotel room when we arrived. So just wanted a little something for dinner to tide us over till tomorrow. And this is called tagliare. And I had to look it up because I'd never heard of this before. Tagliare translates literally to cutting board. And you can see that's how it's served on a cutting board. And typically this would be like meats and cheeses and stuff like that. But I got a vegetable version of it. We've been eating so much pasta and bread and stuff like that. I wanted to have something, you know, some nice veggies and be healthy. So um, it's a cool way to eat because it's this variety of things. So one is this onion, this little mini onion. It's a specific local onion. She told me the name. I can't remember, but it's like if you think of like a cipollini, similar to that. Tasty, like it. Olives, of course, and mm, okay. Those were brined with hot, let me see if I can even get it out here. Those were brined with hot peppers. So those are spicy. Um, Sun-dried tomato, my favorite. Mm, so rich, an umami flavor, delicious. Really nice. So great little spread here. I think this was like 11 euros or something like that. I know it doesn't seem like a lot of food, but Karen and I are going to split this, and it should be enough to hold us over till tomorrow. But I like this way of eating, and this is a really hip, cool place. A lot of interesting people hanging here, having a good time, and we are too. Starting off our day on a caffeinated foot at NTA. This is a specialty coffee house. And before I get into the coffee, the first thing I want to point out is this thing on every table. Now, if you've been to Italy or you have Italian family members, you might recognize this. This is a little espresso brewing pot that's in every Italian household. This is how you brew coffee at home, but that's not what this is for. What they do is, on every table, the bottom part is for the napkins. The top part is for the sugar. I just think that's so cool. So that's that. All right, what did we get? Like I said, specialty coffee house. So what I got was, they've got single origin coffees from all over the world, different kinds. I got a Guatemalan bean and flat served as a flat white. Yeah, tasty. Good way to start our day here in Pescara. We're going to have a chill day today. Well, with a little caffeine surging through my veins. So I know when you come to Italy, you want to see the historical cities of Rome and of Florence and of Venice, and you should definitely go and see those. They are absolutely gorgeous and great to see the old Roman roads and all that stuff. But let me make the pitch for Pescara, which is a modern city. This place was pretty much bombed to the ground in World War II and rebuilt as a modern city. And one of the things I really, really, really like about it is these wide pedestrian-only walkways. There's a bunch of them throughout the city, and they're all lined with cafes and coffee shops and restaurants and retail, and they are pedestrian only. And guess what? People use them all the time. It's busy here always, and it's really one of the great things about Pescara. So we're engaging in the time-honored tradition of an aperitivo here in Italy. Order a cocktail, get a little snack, in this case potato chips. And what I got was a Campari with bitter and Prosecco. I know Aperol Spritz has taken over the world. You can get them anywhere now. We see them in Portugal. You see them all over Europe and America. But for me, Aperol is too medicinal, too syrupy to my taste. So I prefer this, Campari or Select for my bitter drinks. Mm, that's good. And that's going to do it for our time in Pescara. It's been a great, really chill time here, but some really good food. They're really doing interesting things here, and I like it a lot. Very modern. They're not so tied to the traditions, although you can find traditional stuff. I think that's going to change. We're headed now away from the water and up into the mountains. So be sure and subscribe to the channel so you can see all of those videos. I got a bunch more coming out, and I made a playlist for all of our Italy road trip videos so far, so you can watch that. This video is for Carla J, who is a supporter of the channel. I appreciate you, Carla. Thanks for supporting me. You can support me too at buymeacoffee.com. If you want to download one of my ebooks, you can do that at buymeacoffee.com/destination eat drink. I'm Brent Peterson. See you down the road. Che se io mi impunto ti fa bene di tutto. Proprio perché sono brava. E quindi parlando, mi pago meglio.